3,
like 6
minutes.
Oh no, 6 minutes. So little.
Okay,
Okay.
I would like to know what were your biggest creative goals this season?
Wow. I knew about a year ago that this would probably be the last season. So the goal was to find a way to effectively wrap up this story that we started, 7 years ago, in a way that's satisfying to the audience, where we have all the stuff the show has, where it's funny but emotional and feels like an appropriate ending for the show. And I couldn't be more thrilled with what we came up with. I feel like we came up with something great.
You made Harry kind of join a long line of aliens turned human that warms the heart of fans.
Yeah.
How was it getting to bring that to this line of fans, let fans see a human version of Harry?
Yeah, it was. The whole journey has been great. I mean, it's a story that has been told before, which is a little bit daunting. But I think everything is kind of in how you do it, and I was hoping that whatever I was bringing specific because of my background or my writing history could make it feel a little bit different. Then you get the cast involved, and their chemistry is so incredible that it does feel different than the other times that it's been done. For Harry being human, the original thought came out of a budget issue, which was I was trying to find ways to spend less money this year. It costs a lot of money to put Harry in the makeup, so I started thinking about, well, what if we didn't have to? What if Harry wasn't an alien for a little bit? And the more I thought about it, the more I realized it was a perfect creative choice to tell the story. And if you're telling a story about an alien who doesn't feel any human emotion and is fully alien, and you want to get him to a place where he really understands humanity, what better way to get him there than to make him, at least for a little bit, fully human? And so the more I started thinking of it from a creative standpoint, the more it really fit with what we wanted, the story we wanted to tell this season, and the journey we wanted to take Harry on. So it really worked to our favor, and I think it really gave us the opportunity to bring Harry to a place of understanding of what it's like to be human, better than anything else we could have done. So.
When you're writing a show like this, you're dealing with such absurd things. Balancing it out with the grounded nature and the heart of this. How do you go about in the writing process?
It's really, that balance is really hard, and that's the key to it. And I do think some shows don't get it right. The key is, and it's helped by the fact that the stuff we do that's so insane is always through Harry. I try to ground everything else around Harry, all the comedy and everything. I try to make it as real as possible, but then allow it to be a little bit bigger through Harry because his reality is different because he's an alien. So he can get away with things that a normal character couldn't. Whether it's, as I said before, whether it's, sucking on the teat of a cow to get milk, or even being a mid-40s guy acting like a 12-year-old. That's a big, broad thing, but it feels real because we know what's going on. He doesn't know what it's like to be human. So he looks like he's 50, 40, whatever, 50, but he's learning how to tell a joke. He's learning what humor is. He's learning how to be kind. He's really a child trying to figure out how to make it work, which is why it works so well with Max, because they were basically the same age. The jokes they were telling to each other are on the same page. So it's really trying to make sure that everything around Harry stays as grounded as possible. And as long as you do that, we found that all of the stakes and all the heart and the emotional stuff will still play. So it's a delicate balance. We're always aware of it. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's good to see you. Yeah.
Thank you. Are you satisfied that everything has been told during the series run?
Yeah, I was surprised. Yes, everything we set out to do, we were able to do, and I was surprised going into the season how well the stories we were telling came together in a perfect jigsaw puzzle as we got closer to the end. To my knowledge, and I'm sure someone on Reddit will point out things that we forgot, but it felt like there were some loose ends that had been brought up in earlier seasons, whatever, and I feel like it naturally came together. We were able to tie those up, and not in a forced way, but just in the storytelling. And the story drove us to these moments that wrapped things up. So I was I'm so thrilled with how we pulled off the season and how it ended. I think it's great.
How was Alan as a director?
Oh, he's fantastic. Having Alan direct was a great move. He obviously knows the show incredibly well. He knows comedy incredibly well. He was able to bring little pieces of comedy to the scenes that I think other directors wouldn't have found. So much that I think we had to trim some of it out. But he was great. He was great. It's rare to have a director who hasn't done it that much, he's been so busy acting, do as good of a job as he did. But I'm not surprised. He's a brilliant guy.
One of my favorite things about the entire run of the show is that you guys, to promote it, always had very fun things at the beginning of the season. I remember doing trivia with you guys and things like that. I wanted to ask, is there one thing that you think back on when you think about Resident Evil and you're like, I'm really glad that we did that. That was a fun thing that me and the cast like, all kind of did as a collective.
Well, I can speak generally about it, which is when we're in Vancouver, everyone hangs out a lot. And it's not the same with every cast, you know. Everyone just gets along really well. So at the very beginning, what I'm mostly glad about is that at the very beginning of the series, I spent a lot of time hanging out with the cast in Vancouver. And as a writer, it was crucial because it gave me a really good sense of who they were as people, what their sense of humor was like, emotionally, what moved them, and I was able to tailor the characters a little bit towards their strengths. It made them feel more comfortable playing the characters, and I think that helped a lot. So the time we spent together goofing around and playing was a big part of that.
Was there a moment in the show where you were worried about something playing to audiences that went over well? Was there a particular moment?
There's been a few of them where we took a shot at something and weren't sure how it was going to play. And then usually it played really well. I mean, one that pops in my head, off the top of my head, was when Harry's sort of alien cousin, the octopus, died. And I had a concept for that where I thought it would be really funny if the octopus dies and there's a death sort of sequence where Harry, and play it like really melodramatically, like it's like a war movie, where it's like a guy in World War I finding his brother on the battlefield dying, and that whole sequence was ridiculous. Like the octopus is dying, Harry wants him not to die, so he's crying. The octopus is sort of reaching up and like rubbing Harry's face and saying, "Don't worry about it." And the music we played was like, I told the composer, come up with like a war music as if it's a war movie. And then the octopus's last request is to eat him with a nice Chardonnay. And so then you go from the death, in which Alan, being Alan, is ad-libbing CPR on it and then blowing into its mouth, which is on its butt, basically, which is ridiculous, to then a sequence where he's now eating it. And I was like, is this going to work? Like, I don't know. And it was the funniest thing in the world. The crew was laughing all day. It was the most fun. Because Alan was also being incredible. Like, he was improvising so much of it. It was so funny. And those moments are great because they lift the energy of the whole cast. Like, everyone is laughing, everyone is happy, everyone's being positive. So that was one where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work because it's insane. And Alan pulled it off. So that was a gift.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good seeing you again.